Good evening, Croydon! And good evening, London. And we're here in Croydon at the launch of our London election campaign. All 32 boroughs, I was going to say in this great city, but maybe I should say in our once great city. Sadly, but it's true, isn't it? We're in trouble. Our capital city is in trouble. Can you imagine, in the most fashionable parts of central London, men now don't wear... Oh, we got a screamer! We got a screamer! Way! Boring! 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 Oh, it's... Boring! Well, that was fun, wasn't it? And do you know what I'd say to that young man? Do you know what I'd say? I'd say this. What other party leader in modern Britain would have a public event in the Fairfield Halls in Croydon and invite anyone to come along and listen to what I have to say? And you know what? You can agree, you can disagree, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Who else would come along and do that? Listen, mate, you'll have a coronary. You'll have a coronary. Do you know? Do you know, I'd pay to watch this. And that is what... Well, as I always say, boring, boring, boring. But there's something fundamentally wrong with that behaviour. Because what we're doing here is having free, open, democratic debate. And the vast majority of you here in this room this evening have never been to a reform event. You've made up your minds up, but you've come along because you're curious, you're interested. I repeat the point. What other party leader dares to go out and confront the public? I do. Now, this is not my first appearance on the stage at the Fairfield Halls. I've been here before, but it was 1975 in a choir. So there you are. So I was wondering whether I should sing this evening. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But we are here at the launch of our London campaign. And I worry about a capital city in which men can't wear watches, women can't wear jewellery, where crime is rampant, out of control, and now so serious that people don't even bother, in many cases, to report it. Mobile phone theft. Well, of course, it happened to... Don't you believe him? No, nor do I. But we all know what's going on in our capital city. And if there was ever an example, because our national slogan is Britain is broken, Britain needs reform. But if London is broken, maybe in terms of local government, The most broken of all is Croydon, bankrupted by bad management, by bad local government. Do you know what? Not only can we do better, but we will do better than what Croydon's had and London's had before. And you know, despite the fact that it's about local elections and local government, it's about how much council tax you pay. And by the way, we won 10 councils outright in England last year, and I'm proud to say, 1 year on, our council tax rises are lower than those of all the other parties. We will keep your council tax down. And we will end excessive expenditure and madness like DEI policy. We don't believe in it. We believe in meritocracy. We believe regardless of who you are, where you're from, what age you are, what class, race, religion you are, we will judge you as an individual and not stick you into different categories. And we'll run our councils as we'll run the country if we get the chance to win the next general election. And we'll run them all respecting one fundamental and vital truth. And that is that everything about this country, everything about our culture, everything about our civilization, whilst it's based on tolerance for all, is underpinned by the Judeo-Christian principles that made our country what it is. So, of course, it's about local government. But you know what? Many people who vote in local elections actually vote on national political issues. This will become a referendum on the leadership of Sir Keir Starmer. Isn't he hopeless? I watched him. July the 5th, 2024, he just won the general election. He walked into Downing Street to give a 9-minute speech, but he kept looking down at his notes. In 9 minutes, he looked down at his notes 158 times. Like a pigeon in Trafalgar Square. I mean, he's scripted, he's told what to say, he's told what to think, and that's why this Wednesday, just gone, when I asked a very serious question in Parliament, about 1,000 people in the last week coming across the English Channel, young men, many of whom will pose a threat to women and girls in this country, some of whom will pose a threat to our national security because we haven't got a clue who they are. And he refused to answer my question, so I got up and I walked out of the House of Commons in total disgust. But he's got a new master plan. Oh, yeah. He's going to make Sir Sadiq Khan Lord Khan. Put him in the House of Lords. Well, you saw Layla earlier. Hasn't she got the spirit, the belief, the conviction to be a better mayor of London? And that all comes in a couple of years' time. But what happens on May the 7th is a stepping stone to getting rid of Starmer, a stepping stone to getting rid of the ghastly Sadiq Khan and getting London back on the right track. And just look at what he's done as Prime Minister. This is the most unpatriotic Prime Minister Britain has ever had in its lifetime. He continues to pursue endless legal actions against British servicemen for things that happened 30, 40, 50 years ago. He gives away British sovereign territory in the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, who've never had any right of claim over those islands historically whatsoever. In doing so, he threatens our relationship with America, and he betrays those poor Chagosian people who we treated so badly all those years ago. And I'm very proud to say that we as a party want to right that wrong. And I'm very pleased that in the audience tonight, we've got Chagosians. Where are you? There they are. Where are you? Bring us your flag. Come on, bring us your flag. Bring us your flag. Bring us, come on, bring me one of your flags. These people want to stay British. These people want the right to resettle their land. And these people have the most incredible flag I've ever seen. We will stand up for the Chagosian people, for what is right and decent. Okay, sorry. We got it. Give that back to the guys. But it's so typical of Starmer, isn't it? Human rights for everybody apart from these people. We will right that wrong. We will keep Chagos British, maintain our relationship with America, and give these people a future in their homeland. But what have we sunk to? What have we sunk to? Today, in the Telegraph, there was the obituary of 109-year-old Harry Waddingham, sunk twice in the war, once off Dunkirk and once in the Mediterranean, and survived and lived to 109. When we, as we've done for centuries, relied on sea power, we've always been a great maritime nation. It's been the source of our wealth, our influence, and our power. It now takes us 3 weeks and 1 day to send a single naval vessel to defend British sovereign territory in Cyprus. And the Prime Minister's proud of it. But after 14 years of the Conservatives running down our defences, a Labour government who promise they'll do something but do nothing because they're too busy upping welfare benefits, we've sunk, haven't we? We've sunk. We've sunk in terms of our own sense of pride and our standing in the world. We can't even have a sensible energy policy. Now, I can see Rachel Reeves blaming the Iran war for energy prices and all the rest of it. The fact is, we now import the vast majority of oil and gas still needed in this country from overseas at massively inflated cost. We have the highest industrial energy prices in the world because we've bowed down to the god of net zero. We alone will solve global warming by closing down the whole of British industry, by exporting millions of jobs to India, to China, to elsewhere, and then importing the goods back into our country. Have you ever heard of such a mad case of economic harry-carry as not producing our own oil and gas. It is quite incredible, but it's not just the Labour government. It's not just Red Ed. It was Boris, wasn't it? Boris. We're going to become the Saudi Arabia of wind. All right, I'm not Rory Bremner, I get it. Both parties have pursued a lunatic policy that leaves us now in a position where if things go wrong in Iran, there will be energy rationing in our nation when we have an estimated 10 billion barrels of oil and gas. And reforms say, let's produce all the energy we need in our own country, give consumers cheaper prices, start reindustrializing our country, making the products we need, producing millions of good jobs and huge amounts of tax revenue. Let's be self-sufficient in our own nation. But we have to change the culture of Britain. The culture of Britain has to change. We have to start telling kids at school that hard work is the only route to success. There are no shortcuts in life. And you know, work-life balance, all the rest, it sounds lovely. But we're now putting increasing millions onto benefits, people who in some cases are not well enough to work. Well, we'll support them, won't we? We will, as a civilized society, we'll support those that can't look after themselves. But I'm sorry, how can anybody go onto mental health disability, not have the option to work because they suffer from mild anxiety? I suffer from mild anxiety every morning when I wake up. And it's not fair on those that do work. And our voters, our supporters are Alarm Clock Britain. Our people get up, go to work, pay their taxes, they're paying more and more and more, and what they're doing is supporting millions who opt not to work. We have picked a side, and we support working people, we support small businesses, we support sole traders, and that is the way forward for our country. The only way forward for our country. Now, some of this is tough stuff for others to get their heads round, because the consensus has been you can't say anything that upsets certain sections of the electorate. But I'm honest enough to know that Britain is going bust. I'm honest enough to know that our situation with law and order has never, ever been worse. I'm old enough to know that we're in moral decline, where the difference between right and wrong has frankly been lost. I mean, you can shoplift now. You pop down the Whitgift Centre, nick up to 200 quid's worth and not even get prosecuted. It's got to stop. We have to get back and return to common sense, decent values in our country. And you know, it's remarkable that we've sunk to these depths without anything happening. Well, you know what, folks? It is now happening. I, 20 months ago, made, I think, the most difficult decision of my life, which was to get back involved in active politics. Thank you. Thank you. But it was a tough decision because life was pretty good. I was turning 60, first couple of grandkids on the way, settled, happy life, everything going well, good job at GB News. Well, it certainly wasn't the BBC, was it? Life was going well. And I knew that if I threw myself back into this, it would be the last big decision I ever made in my career, indeed probably in my life. But I did it because I simply couldn't believe that the benefits this country could have got from Brexit had frankly been squandered by a Conservative Party who never, ever believed in it. Never believed in it. Who opened up the doors after Brexit to 4.7 million new visa applications, of which only 20% were work permits. Millions of others who've come to Britain in the last few years will not work, ever, will live off the benefit system, and in too many cases not integrate into our society, or in some cases not even learn our language. That is what they did. That is what they did. And now we have a new danger in our country. Sectarianism, voting, and violence. On Monday night last week, an active terror cell in North London firebombed 4 ambulances paid for by the Jewish community. And what did Starmer say? He said, "My thoughts and sympathies are with the Jewish community." That, folks, just is not good enough. What he should have said is, we will hunt down the people who behave like this. We will end terrorism in our country. We will proscribe the Muslim Brotherhood and the Iranian IRGC as a legal organization. We will maintain the rule of law and decency in our country. He did none of those things. And now the left of politics is pandering to increased Islamic extremism to the cost of everybody. And we have to be resolute and firm. We have to say, we welcome everybody from all faiths and all religions and all cultures, as we as a country have always done, in a way that no other country in Europe has ever come close to. But if you come to live here, you can have your private observance. But if your mission is to change our way of life to your way of life, we will not put up with it, full stop. Because if we don't do that, within a few short years, this country would have ceased to exist as all of us know it. We will have betrayed not just those that made such massive sacrifice in the 20th century to defend our liberty, our freedom, our identity, and our culture, but we will literally be signing away the future of the generations to come. And it doesn't need to happen, and I'll tell you why. There is still in this country a big majority for common sense, a silent majority for decency, a silent majority that believes in the nation, a silent majority that believes in the rule of law. And what we have to do as Reform UK is to get that silent majority to speak. And do you know what will happen? If they speak, we will win. We will turn around the absolute disaster that has befallen us under 2 weak, gutless, useless political parties that are destroying our nation. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to give leadership to this movement. I'm here to give you a voice. I'm here to urge you to please all yourselves do your bit to stand up. This is 1940 all over again. The very existence of our nation, its culture, its identity is under threat. And I'm going to do my damnedest to stand up and fight for it with everything I've got. We are building a big party. We've got the highest membership now of any party in the country. We've got great people coming forward, people prepared to make sacrifices. You've seen already our mayoral candidate for Croydon, our mayoral candidate for London. And sitting in these rows are men and women, most of whom have never been involved in politics before. So, it's all right, you're part of it, don't worry. And they've decided to put their heads up over the parapet. And I'd like to invite some of our candidates from Croydon and around to come and join me now on the stage. So you can have a look at them as an audience. Have a look at them as an audience and see what you think. Because I think they've got guts. I think they've got guts. They are prepared. They're prepared to get abuse on social media. They're prepared to have horrible things said to them by the kind of protesters we saw outside earlier. But they're showing courage and leadership in their communities. These folks are the people that will be on your ballot papers on the 7th of May. And I have to say that the old quote from years ago, that all it takes for evil to flourish is for good men to do nothing, could never have been truer in our country, our communities, our society than it is today. And all these amazing people have decided they're going to have a go. And I think a lot of them could get elected on May the 7th. Do you agree? So what really remains is for me to say to you, where's Ben? It's for me to say to you, great, to say to you, if they're prepared to stand up and be counted, I'm going to ask you, the audience, are you prepared, in whatever way it can be, to stand up and be counted, to do something to help save our once great country? Are you ready to make that commitment? I tell you what, if you're prepared to do your bit, stand up and say you're going to help us. Stand up and say you're going to support us. Stand up and say we'll fight for what is right and what is decent and what is real. Amazing. Well, that is our finale. Thank you very much indeed for coming, everybody.